Ben, how are you not feeling hungover? We had the same amount of alcohol last night.
Experience, my dear Veronica. Being older than you, I can drink a lot and not feel the effects the morning after.
Oh, I need a fucking coffee.
Not around the expensive equipment, please. Remember the last time you spilled hot tea all over yourself?
That was one time, and I was hungover. You filled the mug right up to the top.
Okay, that part was my bad.
I had to spend the next few hours in my bra, and I had to wear your jacket until my top dried. It was fucking freezing. I suppose I'll just have to carry on without a coffee.
Yeah, we do need to get this done. I've got new kittens and I don't want to leave them on their own for too long.
Oh, how long have you had them?
Got them nearly 2 weeks ago.
How sweet. How old are they?
They're both 6 weeks old. Named them Nissa and Tegan after the fifth Doctor's companions.
That is so fucking cute.
When we're finished, do you want to come and meet them?
Yes, yes, I do.
Right, let's get this episode done.
So, this is episode 2 of Veronica's news review, the Cameron years, which of course includes the coalition government with the Lib Dems,
The Lib Dems, remember them?
just about, and their leader, Nick Clegg, remember him? Those were the days when we were still in the EU and we still had a Human Rights Act.
Those were the days of Tory light when nothing much happened and the news is easy to digest.
So, before the start of the avalanche of shit, jizz and vomit in 2016, let's take a trip down memory lane. What's first?
How about the early days of the coalition?
We start at the 2010 general election. The Tories didn't win enough of a majority, so got together with the Lib Dems. The last time we had a coalition before 2010 was Churchill-Attlee government in the 1940s.
See, with this podcast, you learn things. Take that, Alistair Campbell and Rory fucking Stewart.
Things were, on the whole, fine until David Cameron, with his big society and we were all in this together bullshit, gave us austerity and then legalizing same-sex marriage, using gay marriage as a deflection from selling off our public services and to keep the poor fuck poor.
The Lib Dems having to govern with a bunch of posh, privately educated wankers. Those poor sods.
They did a very good job of reining in the Tories. Even then, the Tories wanted to replace the ECHR, European Court of Human Rights, with the British Bill of Rights.
Fuck me. Sounds smug and self-satisfying. History is repeating itself.
Thankfully, the Lib Dems blocked this, and they also blocked an attempt when the Tories wanted to water down environmental policies. And so now we have sewage being pumped illegally into our rivers and seas. On to the 2015 election, and the Tories win a majority, which meant fuckety bye to the Lib Dems. The Lib Dems were taken out the back and shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, who knows what shit would have happened if the Lib Dems were still there. Okay, the Lib Dems had to axe their pledge of abolishing tuition fees, which of course wasn't popular with the voters.
Yes, Labour introduced tuition fees, but back then it wasn't that much to contribute towards your education. £1,000, which compared to these days was fucking easy peasy money.
I went to university just before the fees came in 2000, 2001.
Ooh, lucky you. I could never afford university. Don't even get me started on fucking student unions.
A discussion for another time then.
Let's talk about austerity.
Huh, what was that?
Salt and Pepper, Let's Talk About Sex, 1991. A tune.
Sorry, still not a clue.
Well, anyway, austerity. Who was Chancellor of the Exchequer during this time?
Shit, I know this one.
Clue, his middle name is Gideon.
Yes, got it. George Osborne.
Correct. George Gideon Oliver Osborne, the leader of austerity.
This is a quote from Osborne about implementing austerity. A short period of necessary pain to put the public finances right.
Lasting over 14 years. Not sure what short term means in his book, but 14 fucking years is not short term. The gap between the rich and poor have widened into a fucking chasm, a weaker economy and billions cut from public spending. We're in another recession. It's not as big as news as last time because we're used to this bullshit cycle of fucking over the poor to suck off the rich. As well as more people on the streets, unemployment, food banks, declining physical and mental health, pressure on the public services, general lowering living standards.
And thousands of unnecessary deaths.
Austerity has cost $500 billion and a weaker economy and the lives of British citizens. So, well fucking done. Was it worth it?
A visit to Eton, the go-to school for any upper-class self-serving politician.
Yes, Parliament is full of these Etonian tits, and quite a lot of them include our former Prime Ministers, David Cameron, Boris Johnson. They attended this nearly £50,000 a year all-boys school for ages 13 to 18 years old. Ages 13 to 18 without getting any. The last time they touched a pair of tits were when they were being breastfed by the nanny. Maybe that's why they did shit like stucking their dicks in pigs' mouths.
Now, we can't talk about Eton without mentioning the infamous Bullingdon Club.
A private club for Oxford Uni students, a cockfest that included Boris Johnson, David Cameron and George Osborne.
Activities involved smashing up restaurants and throwing money to cover the damage and burning money in front of tramps.
The Bullingdon Club is an old boys' club of utter class corruption, misbehaviour and cronyism. So the Tory party is just the same fucking thing.
It's fucking disgusting. These elite arseholes run the country. They can't even run a fucking bar. 2015, when the Tories won a majority and the Lib Dems were tossed into the bin like every Tory manifesto since the beginning of time.
David Cameron getting back to crushing the public sector down to a pulp and punishing the poor.
I think from 2016, the world went tits up and hasn't recovered from Brexit and Donald Trump.
Yes, and we lost David Bowie, Alan Rickman, Victoria Wood and George Michael in the same year. Here comes the wrecking ball of Brexit to demolish the country's reputation and put the final nail in David Cameron's career.
And to settle an argument in his own party. What did that twat do?
He held a referendum and asked the country whether to remain or to leave the European Union.
And when the country voted to leave, the day after the results, 24th of June 2016, David Cameron resigned.
Essentially, he fucked off and said someone else can deal with this shit, and that someone was Theresa May.
David Cameron's life after leaving number 10.
Probably keeping a low profile after his premiership.
Well, he had top positions on various organisations and was involved in the Greensill scandal.
And 2023, Cameron was made a Lord. He returned to Westminster as Foreign Secretary.
They'll just make anyone a Lord these days, won't they?
This concludes episode 2 of Veronica's News Review.
And what have we learned?
If you went to Eton, you're a cunt. We were better off with the Lib Dems. The short period of austerity turns into an ongoing financial and social harm. David Cameron will always be known for creating this fucking Brexit shit show.
Let's finish this and go see my kittens.
Can't wait. We'll see you next time. Well, not see you, because this is a podcast, which is audio. Bye. Say bye, Ben.
Bye, Ben.